Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of season 3 of Turmoil at Tranmere with me, GWFM. We're changing up the format somewhat to try and just see if it makes a difference in regards, viewing and whatever. Basically, it's going to be a transfer special today. There's a lot of information to go through. Not going to be any games, but I'm going to make up for it with the next video, which is going to be a double live com. You'll see why shortly. But first of all, question of the day is essentially, do you have a second team that you maybe not support, but maybe have a soft spot for? Myself personally, obviously I'm a Leeds fan. I've got a couple of teams that I could keep an eye out. Before we started playing against each other regularly, it was Huddersfield Town because of my uncle. Nowadays it's probably more just keeping an eye out for the likes of Guiseley and Eastleigh because of the FM18 save. Who knows, maybe after this it'll be Tranmere Rovers as well. Before we get into the transfers, I'm going to show you the ones that have stayed on for another year from last season, which we'll start off with Steven Sessegnon. As you can see here, is doing quite well. Anticipation, pace and acceleration is unreal. Everything else is average, but I'm hoping he's going to improve a lot with us playing against better opposition. Next up, as mentioned last season, he signed for 2 years on loan, 2 extra years I think it was. Callum Guy, and yeah, he looks pretty much exactly the same. Hasn't really developed that much. He's only deemed a 3-star player now. Probably the last time we'll have him, it will be this season. Conor Kirby is back. Again, it's more of like a backup option. He has still got a little bit of potential. 20-year-old now, on loan from Sheffield Wednesday. 3 to 4-star potential, and can play a multitude of different roles in the middle of the park. And then finally, we've got David Kasuma here, who can cover a lot of positions, and his all-round game is just solid, really, for this level anyway. However, that's not what you're here for. What you're here for is for all the transfers, and we have made some really good ones in my opinion, 2 in particular. But we'll start off with some outs first. We've got some bad news. Gary Clegg ended up going for 1.1 million to Preston. This is after they tried selling for 925k, and it gave me the option to kick off and say no, I want to keep him. I did that. I managed to persuade him on the last attempt. You get like the 3 chances. I can't stress how important this is, and they gave in to me. I kept him. He kicked off. He was spouting his mouth off and that, and all the players in the squad were against him. And I'm like, suck it, Clegg. Stay here and chuffing, get back in the team, sort your life out, and we'll move forward together. Together like that. But no, he wasn't having none of that. So I ended up putting him in the under-18s. I thought, well, at least he's probably going to get a couple of games with him being 18. Although I've had a few 18-year-olds in there, and it says that it's too old. I suppose it is under 18s, but I thought it was including 18-year-old. But anyway, I digress. So anyway, he's ended up. I get a random news feed that says, "Oh, the board have accepted a bid of 1.1 million." Basically behind your back, G. Screw you. That's Mark Palios telling us that. Screw you, mate. We're just taking money. I'm like, you friggin' knobhead. Best defender. I left me literally. I had Grandison, and that way because I hadn't loaned the Hound, should I say. So it left me Grandison and my youngster Ward. That was it. We could play Sessegnon as well, but he's not a centre back. And that was it, right? But we've managed to loan him back. This is after I've signed replacement defenders. We'll get onto them shortly. But we'll start with some outs. And first of all, we lost Connor Hunt. He's actually gone to Stockport County. I think you may have seen at the back end of last season that he'd agreed a deal. He's actually gone now. He's probably going to get some game time. And as you can see, he's a load of dog turd. Then Akira Simmons has gone on loan to Kettering. I'm just going to fly through these particular players. I've got about 7 players that are out on loan. Cammonberry's also gone to Stockport to join Hunt. Antonio Diaz, who played quite well in the last game of the season, he's also gone out on loan to Kettering as well. So a couple of players together. James Carvel, he's at Darlington. I've decided to send out Lewis Dyer on loan. He's gone to Stalybridge, our affiliate. Ben Carroz is someone who came through our youth academy, and he's gone to FC United of Manchester, the Northmen's FC United of Manchester. Next is Cameron Walker. I've sent him on loan to Nuneaton, getting some much needed game time because he looks like he could be decent with his heading and finishing composure pretty decent. Off the ball needs some work, of course. And then finally, of all the outs, I suppose, because we've already covered Clegg, it's Daniel Wright, who's gone to Eastleigh in the Vanarama National League. So hopefully he's going to get some decent game time as well, and yeah, improve as well, because he could be very, very good, this guy, if he's given the game time. But it's the ins we're interested in, isn't it? And we're going to start off with this guy. I've got this guy as backup. He's a centre midfielder, and the main reason I've got him in is because his personality is resolute and his determination is 15. I thought it'd be ideal to tutor some of the youngsters I'm trying to bring in, or the ones that come through as youth academy, because when you've got loan players, you can't tutor at all. It's a pain in the dick. And I haven't been able to find anyone that good for the middle of the park. This is probably the best of a bad bunch. There was a couple that were decent that were available, but they weren't interested in coming. The likes of Tom Adeyemi, or whatever, him that used to play for Cardiff. And he had a loan spell at Leeds, that's why I know of him. And there were a couple of others that were similar sort of standard. Would have been very good for this team, but it wasn't to be. So he's come in, back up, £1 grand a week, only for a year. So that's the reason I brought him in, just mainly for tutoring. The next guy is the first of my centre-backs that have come in, and it's Jack Elliott, released from Philadelphia, been playing in America. Again, I just thought he was a bit of a tank here, 6'5" monster. You know, jumping reach of 18 as well, heading 13, tackling 14. Marking's a little bit poor into his positioning, but it's something we could work on. 3.5-star player on a rotation contract of £2.5 grand a week for a year. Let's see how he performs, see if he can earn himself another contract. The second of the defenders is Harry Lennon. By the way, all these are freebies so far. And yeah, another decent centre back. Is a determined individual. He's left-footed as well, so I thought it was a decent replacement for Clegg. His physical's a mixture, decent and poor. His jumping reach is 15. He's 6'2". Determination 18 is unreal. Positioning, marking, tackling all 12 and heading 14. I thought it was definitely worthy of a purchase, if you like. £1 grand a week. Deemed the first team, two-year contract. Let's see how he does. Then moving into the centre of the park, we've got George McEachran. I think that's what it is. It's Josh McEachran. I can't even say his name. I might have to change it somehow. Yeah, Josh McEachran. It's his brother. And yeah, 18-year-old, a lot of potential. Thought it was decent to get in. I need to get him tutored as soon as possible. That other guy, Smith, he's already tutoring one of my youngsters in the youth team. So when he's finished with that, I'm going to get him on Josh McEachran. And then the last of the freebies is Emile, which is an awesome name in itself, Smith Rowe. And he's coming from Arsenal. He got released, and there's a winger that can play either side, but he's left-footed primarily, I believe. It says either. And I just thought he's a quick option, got some potential, get him to some game time, he'll improve. He's back up to start off with, but he's on a 3-year deal, £600 a week, a little bit expensive for a hot prospect, but I thought it was worth a punt. I'd say he's similar to, if not a little bit better than Divine Green at this point, and he's only 19 years old, although I think he's just turned 19, yeah. As mentioned, we brought in Clegg. By the way, Jermaine Grandison, both times I signed the other centre-backs, bear in mind what I said earlier about him having only him and us only having him and Ward as the centre-backs. He kicked off saying, sign me a replacement, No, mate, we need the centre-backs because we've just lost Gary Clegg and we haven't kept on the Hound. So, mind your neck in, pal. Then I've loaned in this guy and I'm really excited about him, Jason Malumbi. You might have heard of him. I've heard of him, but I've never used him before. Very excited to use him because look at him. Look at his physicals. The physicals are unreal for this level. Mentally, he's very, very good, and technically, he's decent as well. You know, in all the key areas anyway. So I'm very excited to have him. Cover both defensive and attacking midfield. Should we need a change to defensive one? See how we do with this tactic first. And then finally, a well-known youngster, I think, Callum Gribbin. I was very surprised to be allowed to sign this guy on loan. He's probably a better option than Regan Slater. Regan Slater, of course, we're playing against him this season, sadly. But I thought a chance of getting a free kick taker, someone with an awesome first touch, good at dribbling, that can get in that attacking midfield role, get about the defenders, like draw them out. And I'm really excited to have this guy in. He's been doing rather well in the friendlies, but obviously it's a mixture of decent sides and poor sides, so you can't read too much into it. So that is it, boys, for the transfers. I hope you enjoyed seeing all them. We've spent not a penny. We've made 1.1 million. We got given about 375 grand of that for the transfer budget. I've not even found anyone worthy of spending that money on yet. The one thing I will say is we're trying to loan in Folarin Balogun. We are bidding against Colchester, who are in the division below us. I'm hopeful he's going to join us on loan as like a third choice striker. I want to get him in as an advanced forward because he's got the attributes for it, if I'm honest with you. I don't understand why his advance forward is only half a circle, because the other thing that really lets him down is passing and work rate and decisions, but 9's not that bad. But otherwise he's really pacey, quite strong as well. Reminds me of a faster version of Norwood, so I'm hopeful I can get him in, but we'll have to wait and see. So you might be wondering, as I've just said that about James Norwood, what's actually happened, and you can see here, Jamie McEverley has indeed retired. He's now a head of youth development. We touched on that last time with his ones for everything. Yeah, James Norwood, we ended up letting him go. His performance was just not good enough last season. Look at his history. 6.77. He got 6.79 despite getting quite a fair amount of goals, you know. But in the appearances, the goals and assists just weren't enough, and I had to get rid, unfortunately. It does mean I've had to, of course, if you've seen it already, I've had to change the intro slightly, and well, maybe not slightly. At this point, I haven't done it, but I'm going to be doing it shortly. And of course, the thumbnails. Another player to leave was Ben Tollett. He's wanted at the minute, so hopefully we'll get picked up by Port Vale. Obviously can play either side, but he just didn't improve and was always injured more often than not. The only thing I saw him improve was bravery. I think he started on 2 and ended up on 5. Didn't see any other improvement. And then finally, James Devine. He had a little bit of potential, but he was never going to really feature ahead of all the rest of the midfielders that we had. Moving on to staff, and we've replaced some, you know, people. I'll try and do it as we go ahead. I thought that Trevor Hepburn, he was out of contract coming up. He's 13 and 12 and 13 for his goalkeeping attributes. I didn't think were that good, so I've replaced him with Dan Reesners, I think he's called. This guy, 17, 17, 18, is definitely a step in the right direction. And look at the mentals as well. Only determination really lets him down with it only being 8, but I'm very happy to have this guy instead of Trevor Hepburn. Klaus Lundtvam was next to go. I was a little bit sad about him because obviously he used to play for Southampton and whatever. He's aspiring to be a manager with a tactical knowledge of 1. Good luck with that, pal. But yeah, we've ended up replacing him with Matt Draper. He's marginally better. Lundtvam was a little bit better in other areas, but I thought defending 16 and tactical 10 was a little bit too much to pass up. And he's younger as well, so he's got a bit of scope for improvement as well. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, very happy to have Matt Draper in place of Klaus Lundtvam. We did lose. I've forgotten his name. He retired as head of youth development. We've not got one as anywhere near as good, but we've got Risto Pustinen, who was working with youngsters is 20, which isn't bad. And judging player ability is shocking at 6, but he's got judging player ability at 17, which was better than the old guy. Adaptability decent, obviously determination and level of discipline, but his coaching attributes aren't the best. But he's probably just a bit more of a stopgap until we find someone better, if I'm being completely honest. Then Mick Gooding was snapped up by Barnsley, the under-18s assistant manager. I was very disappointed with him going there, but it is what it is. I had to find a replacement, who was Gary Fusco, and yeah, he's not bad. 18 attacking, you know, technical's only 8, which isn't great. Mental's 10, but I had to get someone in, and he was the best available. Then finally, we swapped out Ruben Emir Ganalangam, something like that. We swapped him out for Stian Lund, who I just thought his working with youngsters was decent, and overall it was quite good. And I just thought it was literally marginally better. I think he's on less money as well. I think the other guy won about 500 quid, so save some money there. And that's basically what it was, really. A lot of these guys that wanted to, they wanted new contracts or whatever, they wanted a bit more money. So I thought, nah, you know what, I'll get someone else that's a little bit better. I've just realised I've got the headset on again, and I don't need it on. What a schmuck. But that is it for all the transfers and staff activity. I'm going to show you finances, and obviously it's looking very healthy. We've got 1.1 million, of course, from Gary Clegg, but obviously season ticket sales have been massively key. We did do a tournament, which we'll get into shortly, which was the Northwest Cup. Got about 67 grand for it, which was pretty decent, to be fair, at the time, because we were still, I think, only on about 100 grand or something daft like that. But yeah, the money mainly has come from season tickets, like nearly £1 million there, so that equates both together, equals probably what we're on now. Very pleasing in that sense, and because of that, we are improving our youth facilities. And I tried to do the training facilities as well. They said no. I want to get under 23s basically, but it's not giving me the option as of yet, sadly. So looking at the expectations, the minimum expectation is to avoid relegation for the league. I think it's obviously a realistic sort of target. I think we could do it. I'm going to aim as always for mid-table and see where that takes us. The FA Cup, we're expected to get beyond the first round of the FA Cup. The Carabao Cup, we're not expected to get beyond the first round of the Carabao Cup. We've got a tough tie. Again, we'll get onto it shortly. And then the Checker Trade Trophy, we're expected to reach the second round of the Checker Trade Trophy, so they expect us to get through the group, basically. So that's a little bit harder than last time. So yeah, this is the league table, of course, and have a look. I mean, there's already been a game played. Sheffield United played away at Peterborough and got beat. But yeah, Sheffield United are in. Just to note, they've signed 2 players in particular that stick out. Yeah, Andy Carroll, you know, like you do on a free transfer. He was playing at West Ham last season. And Chris Brunt. You know, they're able to offer 19 grand a week. I'm pretty sure we can't offer that. And they even signed, if there is anyone here from a Tenerife save of FM18, when I say Bo, you say the Liga, when I was wearing a Craig David mask. You know, never mind. He was my keeper, so he's not bad to be fair. He's 33 light, but yeah, they've made some good signings is what I'm trying to say. Now you may have noticed a small matter of the Carabao Cup, and it's against Leeds. So yeah, yes, you're right, it's going to be a live com. Otherwise, the Checker Trade Trophy, we're in Group D. We have been drawn, I've just gone off it. Burnley under 23s, Fleetwood Town and Walsall. Walsall again, we had them last season. But yeah, our fancies against Fleetwood and Walsall, I'm going to wait and see what Burnley's under 23s are like. I don't think it's anywhere near as hard as what we had last season, i.e. Manchester City. But I'd be hopeful that we're going to get revenge on Walsall because they beat us and made us finish second, which led us to getting drawn against Leicester. So we'll have to wait and see anyway what happens there. Squad dynamics, and everything's green at the minute, albeit the dressing room atmosphere is a little bit low, but that's because there's a wide range of ages and there's quite a few new players that's come into the team. The hierarchy, we've got Dunn, Davis and Buxton in the top 3. Buxton still getting the odd game here and there. Quite a few of the like originals in the highly influential. And if you click on me, no one opposes me. We've got 16 who support me and 9 who have no real opinion of me, which I'm guessing is pretty much all the newbies, apart from Clegg, because he's been and gone. Well, he's been and come back. Just want to show you the under 18s briefly. A lot of these players are like too old, but they're on loan anyway. The ones that are too old are on loan. And yeah, I've made a bit of a boo-boo really here in the fact that I've signed these guys. I always sign them off for some reason. I'm going to change that. And when these contracts run out, I'm not going to be renewing them. So any that's on 2020, they're going to be getting released at the end of the season. Dyer has dropped to 2-star maximum potential. I actually thought it was going to be decent, but we have gone up a league, so that's probably one of the reasons why. So finally, I'm going to show you exactly what's happened in all the pre-season friendlies. And it was going oh so well to the last 2 games, but you can probably see why. But yeah, we beat us under 18s 3-0. Jack Dunn with 2 goals and Callum Gribbin. Bootle, we beat him 5-0. Pretty comprehensive. Then we played the mini cup, which was over 2 days, so one day after other. We played the teams were Chester, Preston, and Everton. And basically, we beat Chester, as you can see, 4-0. Everton beat Preston 2-1. Then we played Everton in the final. Well, first of all, with Callum Guy, a trialist, he was a centre back, and Isaac Christie Davis. You might think, hey, gee, he's got 2 goals. Check him out. Not that good. But yeah, then we beat Everton 4-1 in the final. I couldn't believe it. Mulumby got a penalty after like the first minute. And then James Albion doubled the lead like 3 minutes later. We're like, what the hell's going on here? Then they got one back just before half time. Like, oh, here we go. And then we got 2 goals in 5 minutes towards back end. I couldn't believe it. And that was like literally a cup. So we have technically won the trophy, but it's just a friendly trophy, which means nothing. Then we had a disappointing draw against Morton. We were winning 1-0, found ourselves 2-1 down and managed to get to 2-2, but that was pretty much all that happened in that game. Then we played Preston Athletic, beat them 3-0 thanks to Emil Smith-Rowe and James Allaby. 3-0 against our affiliate Stalybridge. 3 different scorers as per. I don't know why I said as per, but anyway. Blackpool 2-0. Decent result. Blackpool are in our division as well. For some reason we had a friendly against them. Not entirely sure why. Then FC Halifax, we kind of got revenge on them because, they beat us like quite a few times in our first season. Do want to show you this goal though. Yes, it's Halifax Town, but I'm really excited to see Mulumby when he does stuff like that. What a peach. But then after that, we played Crystal Palace, and to be honest with you, we outplayed Crystal Palace, and we got beat 2-0. It was definitely against the run of play. I think they've started to get a few late chances because we changed all the team in the halfway through the second half. and yeah, we ended up losing 2-0. And then probably the most concerning game is we got beat 5-2 against Liverpool. But they did put out a very strong side. Apparently that Naby Keita is a bit good, just a bit good. World class midfielder. Didn't realise he was so good, but anyway, he just tore us a new asshole. And yeah, Hans Wolf scored. I had a look at seeing if I could sign him. Wasn't having none of it. Wanted to play with higher quality players. Jordan Henderson scored, so I'm absolutely devastated. Alexander Trent-Arnold scored a penalty, and then Ryan Kick got a late one. He was another one I looked at, but wanted to play with higher level players. The most disappointing, I think, is Callum Goodwin only got a 5.8. I was looking for him to be the difference, if I'm honest with you, for us anyway. But Correa came back. We were 4-0 down. He came back and scored 2 goals and 2 shots, so I'm really pleased. That's why he's going to be starting the first game of the season, which will be on the next episode. One thing I do want to know is, you know, like I've got Stalybridge who's an affiliate. Liverpool are an affiliate, but they're not like purpled out like that. They're just in normal white, so I don't know what the deal is there. And I wondered, you know, why can't I get some players from Liverpool to come down and play for us for nothing? But no, not having none of it. Just briefly, this is the tactic we're going to be playing. It's not familiar. You know what it is now, if you've been watching from the beginning. We've got it down so it's, well, the team instructions, you can see them there. Let us know if you think it'd be worth putting it out or doing a video on this particular tactic. I'd explain exactly what I do during the games. I encourage a lot. If we're batching possession, I'll leave it as it is. If we're bossing possession, I put pass into space. And if we are struggling for possession, I put retain possession on just to try and match them and frustrate teams. That's basically what I do, but it's not like a plug and play. You've got to adjust things on the fly, but this stays exactly the same. So just before we go on, the next video we're going to be playing Oxford United, the first game of the season. One thing worth noting, I was trying to sign one guy in particular. He chose to go here instead. It's Andre Dezelle from Ipswich Town. Looks decent, doesn't he, to be fair? He was going to be my Regan Slater replacement, but he sacked us off, so no bad. And then, of course, we are going to be playing against Leeds United in the Carabao Cup first round. I can't believe we're going to be playing against the Mighty Whites, but it's 2 lots of whites, I suppose. Yeah, they've got some good players. Alioski is the key man. He's not that good in real life. He's decent, but he's not that good. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting spectacle. I'm going to have mixed feelings when goals go in and what have you. But yeah, hopefully you look forward to that and join us on the next video for the next live com. So that is it, guys. First of all, let us know what you think about the signings. Second of all, let us know what you think about the new intro and, you know, thumbnail if you're bothered. Thirdly, if you have enjoyed this video, please go ahead and press that like button. Fourthly, if you'd like to see more, feel free to subscribe. And fifthly, until next time, I'll see you then. Bye bye.